time, and we are going all the way back to Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2, so do not go anywhere because we have it all for you here on AfterBuzz TV. Boom.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello and welcome to AfterBuzz TV. We are here to cover Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2 of
Stitchers!
Woo!
That pin drop, though.
Yes,
right.
Boom. Well, guys, we are guilty for starting a little late in the season. We started our after show on, I believe, Episode 5 of Season 2.
Yep.
So after we did the finale, we decided we were going to come back. We're going to cover Season 2, Episode 1 and 2 tonight. And then next week, we are covering Season 2, Episode 3 and 4 with a little bit of an AfterBuzz TV exclusive, a special guest, Jasmine Savoy Brown.
Who plays Nina?
Yes. We cannot wait to have her.
We finally get to ask her, are you just too good to be true?
See, I have a feeling you're going to, grill
you
her
the
while
villain?
she's here.
No, I'm just gonna ask us, you know what? When you get the script, did you ever ask them, to make you more realistic? Because you're just too perfect on the show.
I know. She's
Like,
guilty for that.
We're going to question her. It's going to turn into a questioning.
It's going to be great.
Interrogation.
You guys are going to want to
There you
definitely not miss that. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
But today we're talking about the first episode we have, which is Stitchers 2.0. We start off with Kirsten, who finally breaks down and shows emotion after Cameron is pronounced dead. He literally has been shocked, doesn't wake up, and she's crying on his chest.
Emotions.
Becca,
Feelings.
how did you feel about those emotions? I feel like you felt
I
very
felt like
strongly.
Camston.
Yep.
Camston.
Did you
But-
feel it's coming to an end?
No, because there were more
You knew he was
episodes
gonna
following.
make it.
Yeah, exactly. He does wake up, and it's kind
Yeah.
of cute because he's like, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, he's like, did you find the license plate? And
See,
I'm like,
that was my
no.
least favorite part.
Really?
Because if he was gone, it opens the door for kindness, Kristen
Oh,
and Linus.
Nope.
No,
Like y'all didn't know that was coming.
Our boy Double G on
Hey.
TV is all for it.
So
That's
people
how I
know
earned both G's.
Twitter and Instagram.
Oh yeah, so let's introduce ourselves. My bad. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mr. Dakota T Jones. And what about you, Becca?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
Hi, I'm Dakota T. Jones. You can find me at Gabriel Gonzales at Double G on TV.
We're just gonna switch
It's a
roles
little
today.
confusing. I'm really confused
I
now.
think you could be a good Gabriel. I think it fits you.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think we could
I
switch.
don't think I could be a Dakota. I feel like,
Too stressful.
yeah, I need to wear a collared shirt to be called Dakota. Hey, well, I don't know. You got
Today
the
I
button
have
going
yep,
on.
Yep.
Is that a Dakota thing? The collared shirt? Is
Sometimes. Usually I have flannels. But Camille and Linus come to the hospital to confront Kirsten about her emotions. I thought
About
that
her
was
emotions.
hilarious because, Linus is like, you know what? I don't know. Just did you see her? Something's wrong. She never has emotions.
it? Camille's like, how do I say this in a nice way? Not mean way.
Yep.
It's like detached, unassuming.
Yeah.
And then, do you want to say it or what? You want me to?
Go.
And then she's like, bitchy.
I gave him
Ooh.
permission, so.
You know what? That was really funny because she's like, what do I say? I want to do a nice way to say it. And then he's just like, boom. I was like, oh, or she was like, boom. I
Yes.
was not expecting that.
Well,
It
that's
was-
why we love
No,
Camille,
that's why we
you
love
know?
Camille. That
Yeah.
was totally
Just
expecting
saying,
something like
all
that.
these, clean-cut, polished characters. She's just
Yeah.
willing to,
Yep.
ruffle feathers. That's
Adds
why
a little humor.
Yeah.
That's what we love about her,
good.
right?
Yes.
But they leave the room because Kirsten's finally going to tell Cameron, my bad.
One of your
She's
friends.
finally going to tell Cameron what she saw in the stitch. Because, we saw some crazy stuff in his memories about all the kiss and all that good stuff.
It's like one of those Disney movies where a kiss keeps getting interrupted by something,
Yep.
someone coming into the scene.
Yep.
Kirsten and Cameron, Kirsten trying to tell Cameron what she saw,
He just falls
and
asleep.
then something happens, and she's like, "Oh, you know what? I can wait."
Yep. She's like, all right. And you know what? I'm one of those people, I would be like, hey, wake up. No,
Yeah.
I'm not done talking.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, I'm not done talking. I have something to tell you. Type
Yeah.
of thing. I don't care if you just got shot. We're talking about this right now.
Yes.
Well, the thing about that whole scene and the sequence of it through the episode, it was great because I think now with Kirsten's new feelings, they're wondering well, what is she gonna do about it? Because now she can't ignore it. Now, it affects her in a way that it didn't in season 1. And I thought it was very charming to see how she's struggling. Like, I know you have feelings for me, but I don't know how to talk about it with you. And then we get the impression she has a little feelings now for him too.
Exactly.
So that's,
Well,
they were latent. They were under the surface. But she's like, you know, when you look at the way Kirsten played it, I mean, she could tell she felt something. She wasn't just like, how do I tell him no? It's more like, how do I tell him I feel the same way?
Yeah, you know, I feel like Linus and Camille have the same type of problem because they never. At least Linus seems he's really all in for it. Camille's a little bit reserved. Like, hey, it was like, you know, just having fun. It's
Camille's
all good.
confused right now about her.
But it was cute because we saw this cute little moment where Linus was saying to Camille in the hospital, "Look, I think you did a better job than I would have in the stitch. I'm really proud of you." Yeah. And she's kind of like, wow. And then he's
like, oh yeah.
And he's like, okay, you know what? I feel like I need to kind of grow up, and I feel like I need to move out on my own. Maybe. She's like, well, just sleep on it. It's probably just because, you know, everyone almost died. And he's like, I hope not. Like, I hope this is something that I can take and move forward with my life and kind of grow up a little bit.
Yeah. And we see strong Linus throughout this whole season too.
I know.
It's a growth for him.
It really is.
He grew the most, I think, out of everyone.
It's crazy how breaking up with that one girl when you were young can just change you, right, Dakota?
Yep.
I mean,
changes it forever.
It does. I've been there. Becca, who changed your life after they left it?
Next scene. Next scene.
All right. Well, we finally meet Les Turner. He comes in. He is Maggie's boss.
Yep.
And Maggie admits that if it came down to it, he is just so sketchy that he would kill one person to save 19. And he's like, are you doing a threat? Like, is this a threat? Because 19 people work in your lab here. So are you saying you would kill me?
Oh, you mean Maggie had the line?
Yeah,
you just said Les had the line.
Yeah.
Because you said Les
would
kill
sorry.
19. Les said he would kill so many people to save the greater.
But then Maggie said I would kill one to save 19. And he was like, oh, no. Like, is this a threat, little Miss Maggie Lou? Because...
No, that's when I was like, wait, are we supposed to trust Maggie still? What's happening?
You know, for a while I didn't trust Maggie, but now that we've gone through the season, looking back, I totally trust her. And I know it's because I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I really trust Maggie now.
I mean, I don't know. I still, like, half trust her and half don't trust her. Like, I don't know if I should trust her completely at this point.
Even after the season finale?
Even after that, yeah.
Wow.
I think my thing throughout season 2 is we understand she's always been in a position of power, of authority. How does she not know what's really going on? And I think that's when I break it down. It's like, well, it's got to start with Maggie. Right. You know, okay, we trust everyone as far as the team in the lab, right? Cameron, Camille, Linus, Kirsten, etc., etc. Who's the next up? Maggie.
Yeah.
And do we really think that she doesn't know everything? Especially when we know how authoritative, how strong her character is. I think that's where it throws a lot of us off, because it's like, how can you be so in the dark when you're obviously so on top of your game?
Not only that, but we've seen throughout the episodes playing out in this season, she has withheld information at times. And then when Kirsten finds out about it, or another character finds out about it, they're like, what the heck? You didn't tell me. And she's guilty for that. So she is guilty for holding information that she knew. So I do agree with you on that.
Yeah, it's not that I think she's like a villain or something.
No.
I don't think she's a bad guy, but I do think she's still keeping a lot of secrets.
I think she's honestly scared for her life, because she thinks if I let something out of the bag, like, I could get killed by Les or Mitchell Blair, who's a step up from him. And not only that, but a step up from him is, I'm guessing, maybe Stinger.
Stinger, yeah.
So speaking of Les basically orders Fisher to stop looking at the Ed Clark case.
Because he's getting too close to finding some answers.
Exactly. So he orders him, look, you got to get off this. It's not cool. And then we go to find him, and he is dead in his apartment, shot dead.
Kirsten gets mad.
She's like, couldn't you stay alive for just 2 more seconds? I had some questions for you.
she literally, I don't know. How fast do you think she got to the apartment?
I know. But she's like, you know what? We're going to stitch in right now. We're going to get this.
She got there at TV speed.
TV speed.
That's right. And I want to know what you think about this because I know you're going to love it. But next thing we see is little Miss Kirsten walking in with her new suit.
Oh my goodness, I loved it.
Little Miss Kirsten.
I loved it, America. You know, I thought...
America.
Hey, America.
What about the other countries too watching?
You know what? World, she looked damn sexy in that suit. Come on, Dakota, you know.
She looked really good.
She did. Hey, when she said it's like, I feel badass, I'm like, I bet you that's not the only word you were thinking, but okay. Hey,
She is badass.
I know Cameron and Linus weren't thinking just that, but okay, yes, she looked really amazing.
Yep.
Emma Ishta showing off that figure in the Stitch suit, all joking aside. That was pretty fun. Obviously, you know, I don't mind those scenes at all, but, you know, I think that when we talk about 2.0, and we don't want to just, you don't want to rehash it, so I understand that they're trying to step it up a bit.
Right.
The other suit really was like, you know, like Spider-Man, that whole Venom body suit. It's like, okay, I understand. Let's be honest, it's very tight. When she's in shape, so obviously it's very flattering. But I like how this one, it was a step up, even if it wasn't quite as revealing, because with the collar and the way it's set up, it was different. So I understood that. I thought that was a step up.
It was almost like when a superhero gets reinvented and comes through with like this new costume.
Jeff says, keep it clean, guys.
Keep it clean.
You too.
Jeff,
you didn't, you know, cast her and put her in that suit knowing that she would... You know,
oh my god!
I mean, I'm just saying it like it is, Jeff. It's good to talk to you. Thank you for tuning in once again.
Yes, Jeff. Thanks for watching. We really wish you could have came in today, but like we said, if there is a season 3, we'd love to have you in.
Yes.
We'd have a blast. But getting back into this a little bit, they kind of
back into Emma and the Stitch.
Yes.
Suit. Yes. Keep talking about it.
We're moving like a little step past that.
Back to the plot of the episode.
We get these new security guards coming in because once Les is murdered, everyone's like, all right, we got to have protection for everyone. So we bring in these really sketchy security guards.
They're apparently like high school dropouts or something.
Yeah. And it's just kind of weird. Like they're kind of overseeing everything. They're like trying to get all up in everyone's business, and everyone's like, look, you got to step back. I got to do my job here. But we find out that Les Turner's memories are fragmented. They're fragmented, and because of that, Kirsten has a really hard time even making anything from it, and she throws up, which is the first time we've seen that.
I was dizzy.
I was like, wow, that must
But that was really cool. I was dizzy, but that was really cool.
Yeah.
That whole
What were you
fragmented scene.
You know, okay, so for those who don't realize this, you know, we kind of breeze through it and we kind of make them... People may not, who are just tuning in. We have the executive producer, Jeff Schechter, who you always see in the credits at the start of every episode. He's actually a big fan of our after show, and he has a conversation with us.
He's
and
great.
so, Becca, please tell, you know, all our fans, what did he say about what was supposed to happen in the original pilot with Kirsten's character?
You want me to read it?
I got it. It says, in the original pilot episode of Stitchers, according to the executive producer, she was supposed to be naked in the tank.
What?
How do you put that on the cutting room floor?
Wait, this was supposed to be in the pilot?
He says, seriously.
Oh
Jeff
my
Schechter,
God.
I don't know whether to take this seriously.
I think he's serious. That's crazy.
Well, I could. Okay.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
Yes! Finally, we got one of those.
Well, thank you for that little nugget of wisdom. Like, I am actually very intrigued by that decision.
I'm disappointed.
I know
that
you
they
both
went
are.
another way.
I think that's really kind of cool.
Jeff, you know, come on, man.
Next season.
Okay.
No.
There we go. Renew Stitchers 3 now.
Yeah, I'm sure Freeform would have no problems with that. They've been getting pretty racy.
Okay, you know, okay.
Freeform.
Off on the side, you know, Emma Ishta is gorgeous. We could talk about that all night.
I
but
know. We can have
And
a
the
separate after
acting.
show for
Let's
that.
get to the acting.
Yeah, but you know what? I wanted to talk about one thing, you know. So Cameron's character, because I felt like the changes in him were really what kept Kirsten from admitting her feelings. And let's be honest, that's the kind of first domino that led to them doing another will they, won't they this season.
Yeah.
So, you know, we see him being bold and daring, the motorcycle scene, that was charming. And you know what? I think that now that Kirsten is feeling different, she's more cautious.
Totally serious.
Jeff,
Oh my goodness.
once again, Jeff, I mean, your first question when you finally join us is, how did you let that decision get changed? Anyway, but
he's serious.
I am serious. I mean, come on, America. You know what? All right.
What Gabriel was saying about the Cameron and Kirsten kind of swapping emotions.
Now with Cameron being very risk-taking. You know what? Here's the thing. There's being bold and then there's being stupid. Mm-hmm. And we see he's being... No, quite frankly, he's thought he was invincible.
Yeah.
And what happens? Kirsten gets tased over it.
Yeah.
He gets tased over it.
That's in the next episode, though.
Really?
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Oh,
Wait, no, that's maybe... No, it is this.
The
it's just a little
tasing
later
isn't...
on.
The motorcycle is in the next episode. But the
But
tasing isn't.
No, okay, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But okay, so he's taking these risks now. You know, with the locker room is this episode, right? Les Turner's panic room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has the secret panic room, and they have this hard drive that has this number on it that they're trying to trace back to see where the location of it was and where it came from. Yeah. So yeah, I know what you're saying though. Like they go to this place and they get tased, and it's because you're right. He is kind of acting stupid in a sense where he's like, badges. We don't need no stinking badges.
We don't need those badges.
If I'm looking at it from Kirsten's point of view, I'm thinking, you know what? Okay. This isn't the guy he was a day ago. Mm-hmm. And, you know, all right, I understand it's a whole season. It's been a few months since we've seen the characters, so changes have to be made in that way to move the story. But, you know, I think that's what really started the whole thing, that Kirsten just... I know, just to put it bluntly, because we have a lot to cover, that's why she didn't really have that conversation with Cameron, and I think that's why they played the cat and mouse thing all season.
Yep.
That opened the doors for all these other things to happen. Yeah. But I think that was the first domino. Exactly. And that attitude. And really, Cameron, he was a little different than season 1 after that point.
Yeah.
So.
And not only that, but Cameron, once they kind of are sitting down and before Maggie gives them their badges, Cameron decides to live his life without fear after dying already once. He wants to live his life to the fullest. So that's kind of that moment where she's like, look, you're being reckless. You're being kind of stupid. Like, what's going on? And he's like, you know what? I'm going to live my life to the fullest because I've been afraid before and it's gotten me really nowhere.
I mean, but hey, good for him on that one. But, like, he's being a little too fearless. Yeah.
Like I said, there's brave and there's stupid.
Yep. Yeah. I think we're all
he's
guilty
like on the
of
edge
doing
of
things
stupid
like that every once in a while. Sometimes emotions cloud judgment, which is something I feel like we could talk about on every single after show we've ever done. Is like
which Kirsten has to deal with in this season because of...
Becca, why didn't you tell us about a time you were...
Emotions were clouded by your judgment.
I mean, because that's how I really, you know, relate to the show. You know, who has... Dakota, have you done some stupid let your emotions get
You know what? I have. I think we all have.
Dude, I did that today.
No. See, I feel like everyone is guilty of it. So
follow me on Snapchat. You'll find out why.
What's that?
Important break announcement. Today is the 1-year anniversary of the season 1 premiere.
Yes. So that is so cool that our after show landed on the
that day
1-year date for Stitchers. Like that is so cool, and it's already been a year, and I hope that we have like more years to come because I feel like this show is just so much fun to cover, and I feel like it's so interesting. Not only that, but it's something that we haven't really seen on Freeform before, or really any channel. So that's
always
why
intrigued.
I mean, it's really fast has made its way up from a show that I love to one of my all-time favorite shows.
Exactly, me too.
Which is crazy because it takes a lot for me to like really think a show is one of my top 3 favorite shows.
Yeah.
So
what I always think is fun about the show is it's got that hardcore following for a reason.
Right.
It's because when we had Ritesh come here to talk about it with us, when people ask, what's your show about? Man, if you honestly, can one of us like say it in like 15 seconds what's about?
Really? You gotta watch it.
You have to watch it. And the thing is,
there are these young people who get into the minds of dead people.
Yep.
It's so much more than that, though.
Yeah, it is. A lot more.
You know, it's like, well, that sounds a little weird, and then it's like, no, it's actually really good. And
that's why it's almost like a storyline that you have to be like, you know what, you got to watch at least the first few episodes to kind of get the gist of it, and then go from there. And of course, if someone watches the first few episodes, they're going to want to finish it because
addicted.
That's what happened to me. Like Becca was like, you got to watch this, you got to watch this, and then I had it all watched in like 2 seconds, and I was just like, oh my gosh. But okay, going back into this a little bit. Yeah. Kirsten, in the Stitch, thinks that she sees Maggie shoot Les because we see this fragmented memory, and of course, you know, the security guards are like, "Oh no, no, no!" and they're like gonna try to get
pull
Maggie.
out their guns,
and Maggie like pulls
goes
one of his
boss
side,
mode and
puts
takes
the gun
a hostage.
To them. Yep.
I have to say, at first when I was watching this episode back when it like really premiered, I kind of believed that.
Yeah.
That she
I did too.
kill.
I was like, oh my gosh.
I was like, what? No.
I did too, but just because you feel like Maggie does have that in her to shoot less.
Yeah.
I feel like she does,
Definitely.
but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know, because she would not want them to stitch into him if she thought, oh, we're gonna see this. So that's why I was like, she probably didn't.
I think the thing about that episode, it was a nice twist, and like I just said, you believe Maggie is the kind of character who could do that. But I think when we look at the pacing of the episode and our expectations, we didn't expect Maggie to suddenly be taken out of the picture in the season premiere too. So I think that's what, for myself, maybe it lost a bit of that tension, because it's like, okay, it was well done, but I just didn't believe it was really going to be Maggie.
Yeah, because like, Maggie is just one of those people where I think, like we said, she is withholding information that not everyone knows, but at the same time, I don't think she would have it in her. So I think honestly, like the creators of the show really kind of wanted us to believe that it wasn't her in a sense, because we want to trust her, even though she is, not 100% trustable. So I think that was kind of set up where we kind of knew this can't be Maggie. So I think we were all supposed to know that, but at the same time, we had like 20% of our brain
half and half, maybe.
We don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's one of those things where it's kind of like up to whoever's watching, like what they thought. But for me personally, I didn't think it could be her. I was like, there's no way.
Well,
the thing about it is, okay, we lost that storyline, but we got the more interesting one at the end of the episode. You find out Ed Clark is not ashes in some other random state. He was right there in the building the whole time.
I know. We see, or Kirsten has like this number that she remembers in Les's memories. So they stop it. They go in.
They stop an elevator. Yeah.
Yeah. They stop the elevator. They go in, and Ed is sitting there in a frozen thing, like with this weird, like Spider-Man suit thing on, and we're just like, oh my gosh, this is Kirsten's old suit. I'm just kidding.
There you go.
But yeah, so Ed Clark, he is frozen, and they decide, you know what, we have to stitch into him, because why not? We need to know.
Because Kirsten needs her answers.
Kirsten needs her answers, and she will not take no for an answer.
Yeah, ain't gonna take no for an answer.
Very important thing to note. We didn't realize just how strong a theme that would be, especially toward the end of season 2.
The whole season.
Yep.
And she won't take no for an answer.
The whole thing with Les Turner's memories, she kept saying, "I smell incense. I smell incense." But then at the end of the episode, she's like, "Oh my gosh, like." That actually was the smell of my father's shaving cream, because she remembers when she has that world's greatest dad mug. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. So we find out that Kirsten's dad must have killed Ed.
And Les Turner.
Right, which is making you think, oh, well, the dad must still be alive. Which she had, reason to believe he was, but we know now, we're pretty sure the dad is still alive. Yes. I know we know now, because we're kind of going back.
But as of now.
Yeah, we do, because there's been so much
that
going
was going to be my prediction, though.
But before going into covering the second... Yeah, but before going into the second episode, I do want to say, did you see the parallel where they had the world's greatest dad mug in this that they dropped? And then in Shadowhunters, they also had the world's greatest dad mug. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So it's kind of like, gosh, that's so cool. I love when they do that kind of stuff.
There's some little shopper, on the Warner Brothers lot that's making a lot of money printing those mugs.
Right?
Yes.
I know. But anyway, guys, that is it for the season 2, episode 1. But we are still going to be covering.
Thank you for tuning in, Jeff.
No. We're still going to be covering season 2, episode 2 right now, and it's called Hack Me If You Can. I think this was one of my favorite episodes of the entire season.
Yes.
I had a blast watching this back today.
Well, because I'm a big fan of Camille lines, and I think Camille had really good lines
she had some great lines. Yep.
And she was part of the episode, too.
She really did, yeah. Not only that, but I think Linus kind of had this big moment in this episode. He finally moves out into this really nice, smart apartment, which is all controlled at the touch of a tablet. He can do whatever he wants. He can make tea. He can turn on his lights. He can start the oven. Anything he wants.
Right. We combine our money.
Let's all live together.
Let's combine our money.
You know what's sad is that we could do that, and we still couldn't afford it.
Yeah, right.
We couldn't afford the one.
Oh.
Thank you.
Like, we couldn't afford the 1-bedroom studio version of that.
You couldn't.
No.
But you know what? Maybe someday, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Dream big.
Yep.
I still gotta use my key because I can't afford to fix the clicker. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that bad yet.
Speaking of keys,
Right?
Cameron is wanting to get some keys to this amazing motorcycle that he's wanting to buy, and we get that cute moment where they are together on the motorcycle, kind of hugging, and the lady in the motorcycle shop's like, "What is going on here?"
I died.
That was so cute.
I watched that scene like 500 times. No joke.
Because Kirsten is freaking out in this scene, and Cameron gets her to kind of calm down, get on the motorcycle, have a little bit of fun. I feel like he's
the nicknames.
I know. I feel like he has this ability to kind of, whatever's going on in her life, he has the ability to kind of make her calm down. We see this in the finale whenever she runs to him, freaking out. He gets her to calm down, and then they kiss for like 23 seconds or something like that.
Yes.
He's got the magic touch or something because
he does.
He knows how to help her out when she's in those stressful times.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, well, yeah, I like how you very
he's kind of a
PG
distraction.
said that, but okay, I think that Kirsten's just feeling Cameron, and I think that it's just a thing that when people just have that attraction that they're a little more willing to just kind of lower those walls and be vulnerable, and Cameron just brings that out in Kirsten, which quite frankly I don't think it brought out in Nina, or I don't think that Camille and Linus have that anymore, which is why Kirsten is gonna move on after she realizes this. Okay, getting back on topic.
No. Camston.
Yes, no.
We always have like one person that's like the main person we're stitching into. And this episode, I was really confused when I first watched because I'm like, okay, what's happening to this guy? But we're basically stitching into a hacker whose insulin pump was overdosed, aka hacked, and killed him because he like kind of stumbled out into the street and then he got hit by a car. And I was like, what just happened to this guy? Because I was like, did someone prick him with a needle? I didn't see any physical contact. Yeah. I was very confused. And then after the whole insulin pump thing came out, I was like, oh, okay. Like someone basically sent him an email / text. And it sent like a signal, right? To his insulin pump, which made him...
hacked his insulin pump.
Kind of crazy that's possible these days.
Someone named Ellie.
Which... I'm not going to say until the very end of the episode.
We don't know the spelling of Ellie.
We don't know the spelling. For all we know, it could be Ellie. That's what I wrote down in my notes.
That's what I was thinking in the beginning.
They found out it was initials.
Yes, but...
that's later.
Not yet.
This is later.
I was like, wait, what?
But during all of this, Camille is taking fighting lessons, or like punching bag lessons from Fisher, which was kind of this random cute moment. And I think it was like a seed planter for what was going to come later in the finale, but at this point we just think they're friendly, but we kind of see this chemistry.
We kind of see it a little bit in 2.0 episode. We see it in when Fisher's in the hospital room.
How I mean, we know Camille is
flirty.
But she got right up in his business. Hi, honey. You know, really laying it on thick.
Fishy, fish cakes.
Exactly.
Yeah, fish cakes too.
So that's all right. Yeah. That's where the seed was planted, but then
Fisher's just slow.
Here's the thing about TV: you do any kind of thing to possibly bring out sexual tension, you could read into it. It's gonna be used in some way. I remember in college, a lot of teachers, it's like, when it comes to writing, if you have a gun on the mantelpiece in scene 1, it has to be fired by the end of the show. Yeah. Same thing. If you have these two characters having a moment, their feelings have to be addressed by the end of it. Otherwise, why did you do it?
Exactly.
So I think, Becca, like when you saw, Damon Dayoub, he's got that shirt off, he's flexing, hitting the bag. Do you think Camille didn't notice that and wasn't feeling something?
I think
I noticed that.
Yeah. I think she did, because she walks in, she's like, looking good, Fishy.
Yeah.
Like, she addresses it straight out. So
And we all know, Fisher knows. Even though there's the age difference, he knows Camille has got it going. Yeah.
No, I think he's a little slow to catch on, but... Yeah. I don't think he even knows still, really. Yeah. But...
I just think that they played on that tension throughout the season, but I think that's how a match has that big light when you first strike it. Yep. That's what that was supposed to be. And then we were really just following that line.
Yep.
Yeah.
Until, you know, we know where it ended in the season finale and how she felt possibly. But, you know, that was the match that lit that line, in my opinion.
I know, I agree. And I think that it's kind of heartbreaking when you think about what happened in the finale with, you know, Fisher's wife coming back into the picture and the whole
and poor
thing.
Camille.
Camille's sitting on the couch like, oh, okay.
Camille's like, yeah,
and
fine.
now she's going to
great.
lose,
Well,
you know, Linus to Kirsten when Kirsten
oh my
falls
gosh,
apart.
stop.
No.
Yes.
No.
You know,
Camille and Linus are meant to be.
Okay, you guys are allowed to ship whoever you want on Shadowhunters. This is mine.
Yeah, fine. We'll let you have this one.
What, y'all thought I didn't catch up on what you guys
Rude.
Very true, though.
I'm pretty sure this is Jeff's show, not your show.
You know what? Hey, I'm pretty sure he's listened to some of my ideas.
Maybe.
When season 3
We'll
is
see.
You know, I'm gonna be right there on set to be like, it was my idea.
No.
Too much. It's funny, though.
No.
Hey, you're allowed to dream. We're talking about TV. We're not talking about politics.
That's true. Very true.
I believe that it's gonna happen. But okay, back to the story.
Well, Camille is definitely known to kind of flirt around, which leads us to the next point in this, where McGuire is this businessman who owns Steal a Glance, which is basically a website where married
Ashley Madison.
Married people can find a way to hook up with people. And so she goes to kind of flirt with him, to kind of get really close to him, to steal the account numbers from him. He's a millionaire, and then she leaves him.
She's like, hey, I don't like waiting in line.
Yep.
Camille at her, you know, she's that chameleon, you know, she looked good, she did the job.
She got the account's number, and I love when she left. He's like, wait, can I have your number? He's like, nope, because I already got yours.
I already got
yours.
I already got yours.
You ever had a girl do that to you?
You know what? No, I haven't. Nope.
Becca? Okay, I know you haven't, but do you have friends who've done that?
I hope not.
It's kind of a cold thing to go up to somebody and then...
You know, I try to just, like, be honest, and then it's like, she's so innocent, and, you know, I feel guilty.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
It's like, I feel bad when I, like, tease Becca here on set, because it's like, you know, I feel bad afterward.
Yeah.
You know, poor Becca.
I'm innocent.
We love you, Becca. Anyway.
I want to point out a line later coming up when Camille goes back to meet up with Kirsten and Cameron. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, hey, I got the guy's number, information, all that stuff. The line in there that was like, what a time to be alive was made up by her. So, improv.
Very good. And basically, since, you know, his name Les Turner is dead, Mitchell Blair is his boss. He kind of sneaks into the Stitch lab and scares the heck out of Maggie. Maggie pulls a gun on him.
Scared me.
And he's like, basically like, congratulations, you don't really have a choice, but I'm promoting you to the director of the agency. She's like, I don't know if I want the job. I want to know more about this. I want to know what I'm getting myself into. And he's like, nope, you're just going to do your job and trust. She doesn't even know what she's getting herself into, and she has to just jump into this role.
Well, see,
I don't like Mitchell Blair.
Yep.
Don't like him. Never will.
He is a sneaky little devil.
Don't trust him.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: we didn't see too much of him during the season. Not until the end. What I took that to be is like, okay, Les Turner, he sets his precedent, but then Mitchell Blair, he was a little more passive aggressive.
Mm-hmm. He had more power.
He was almost that annoying kind of villain in that episode, because what I felt like, oh, I called him Danny. Does that mean we're secretly best friends?
Yeah.
That is one of these, that just snarky.
He's very snarky.
And it's like, that just, I didn't like him. It's like, yeah, they're going to kill you, and then we're going to stitch into you by episode 8 or something. That's what I thought. I mean, just because, you know.
He is just smarmy.
I will say that word of the day, right?
Word of the day.
Smarmy. Used in a sentence and everything.
Something like that.
But in
Define
all honesty,
smarmy.
I thought that in episode 9, when we saw him later, that is the Mitchell Blair I wanted to see in this episode. Just, you know, really like set his foot down, like, no, like really like assert his power, like, let me tell you how it actually works around here. Mm-hmm. And he also made a point that I think is very important, that he talks to Maggie, it's like, just because you work with these kids doesn't mean we're playing games.
Yep.
There really is that dynamic that's different with Maggie and Fisher, that they have to have, I don't want to say they're parents, but in a way they kind of babysit, you know, the young geniuses who run the
they have to kind of like mentor them and get them, you know, corralled and like, hey guys, we gotta do this. Like, all right, I'm gonna wrangle up all my children. Let's get to work here, because the reality is they are very young kids who are just kind of trying to get into this business, but at the same time they're dealing with everyday emotions and everyday situations that us young people have. So they are, in a sense, kind of like the parents trying to corral everyone around. But that's why Kirsten and Cameron kind of sneak away whenever they're trying to track the IP address. They kind of, you know, kind of undermine, in a sense. I mean, they should have had security backup if they're going to go to this person who, you know, is a potential murderer. And they kind of sneak by the parents. It's almost like, all right, I'm going to sneak out of the house type of thing. They track the IP address and go to the parking lot where they're being watched. And we kind of hear this woman's voice once she calls Kirsten, and she's watching them, and we don't know who this person is. From
somewhere. She's watching from somewhere. We don't know where.
Because we can just see close-ups of her mouth and her eyes, and she says her name is Ellie, and they're being watched, and basically Kirsten's like, I'm going to find you, and she's like, okay, well, come and find me, type of thing.
Like, she wants to be found.
Yeah.
Like, game on.
And she's like, you know what, you really should not have just wished that, because Cameron finally goes back to buy the motorcycle. All of his cards, even the little black one, has been hacked. The money's gone.
Cut off.
He is now poor. And then Kirsten is getting ready to be taken to jail because apparently she is a prostitute. And I was like, what is this? Like, this girl Ellie does not play games.
I thought it was interesting, like, in the phone call, that she does say her name, and she's like, oh, by the way, my name is Ellie.
Yeah. And I was like, wow, why would you give your name out?
Okay. Interesting.
But we know why. Because then later on we figure out why she was able to give her name, because there was a hidden meaning to it. But we find out that basically the subject whose insulin pump was hacked had been cheating on his wife, obviously, because he's using Steal a Glance. And apparently
his wife is Ellie.
Yeah, that's what we kind of think at this point.
Yes.
From the Stitch.
Which is, like, somewhat correct and somewhat...
Yep.
It's more complicated.
But she murders her husband.
Yeah.
Because of that. And not only that, but we find out there's been many months planned out that she took to kill him. It wasn't like an overnight thing, like, okay, I'm going to kill this guy. She planned so many months to, like, get ready for this, which is really scary.
Creepy.
You know, for me, like, when I think about that, it's like we talked about it, you know, with Fisher, like, why he doesn't just turn down his wife. It's like, she knows how to use a gun. With this one, it's like, do you realize she can get rid of your life essentially through a computer in a few clicks? You know, your money gone, your house gone, your accounts gone,
your life gone. Like,
yes, your social security gone.
She did all this behind her computer because she got into an accident, right?
Yes.
She's like wheelchair bound in a way. And she is doing all this from her place where she's in her bed, and she's like got all of her computers going, and she's basically running her own hacker business from her bed, which is really kind of crazy when you think about it, because a lot of hackers are doing everything
but
at their home.
Brilliant.
They're doing everything at their home behind their computer screens, and she also manages to hack Linus's smart apartment. Basically turns on the gas, and as soon as he flips the light switch, apparently there's going to be a huge gas explosion.
But Cameron and Kirsten save the day.
Yep.
Cameron by falling on top of Linus.
My favorite line of the episode was whenever he's like, I smell gas, and Linus is like, sorry, man, you scared me.
You know, see, I would have thought it's the exchange that him and Cameron have when Kirsten comes back in. It's like, do you guys ever have ideas in the shower? You guys
that was so bad. That was bad.
And it makes me think, you know, I thought it was very, you know, Kirsten had a bit of a Becca moment. She doesn't know what they're referring to, but Camille does.
Yeah.
And, you know, Camille is the one to get the guys in check, which is like, okay.
Isn't she always?
That was another liberty that Freeform took because they're Freeform now.
Yeah.
But it was very funny.
Because they're...
It was hilarious.
Yeah, which ironically Jeff was telling us earlier that on the chat, it's like, why didn't we get that scene with Kirsten character? And he's like, it's this thing called ABC Family. And I'm like,
but it is Freeform now.
You know what? Hey, you do what I understand. There's rules.
There's rules.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
And some things sadly just gotta stick to your imagination. But
next we find out what Ellie stands for, which you guys like to explain what Ellie actually stands for.
Ellie is Linda Edwards.
So L-E.
L-E.
Ellie.
Do we have a sound effect? Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hey, there we go. We've just gotten a lot of sound effects today.
I love how you just ask for it and boom, it happened.
It's there.
You know
Love
what? People don't realize the team behind the scenes for us at
They're
AFTERBUZZ
so
TV,
great.
They're great.
I'm not just saying that, the fact that we could just toss it and they'll throw
Everyone's
it down
fantastic.
for us.
It's great.
Hey, you're doing a great job. Thank you.
Yes. And we also kind of end on this note where Kirsten is kind of getting into Linda's head. Linda Edwards is...
We find her.
We find her. We stop the elevator. We get there. The elevator opens. She's like, crap, how did you find me? Type of thing.
Like, good you found me, but then also like, oh,
yep,
you actually found me at the same time.
Yeah, and she's kind of like, she's like, or Kirsten's like, I was hoping to find a friend. Or no, Linda was saying that. And she's like, did I find a friend?
No. Crazy.
That's not how this works.
No. But she said, I didn't really necessarily care if I was found or not. Like, maybe I wanted to be found.
Yeah.
And then Kirsten kind of sits next to her. She's like, okay, so how would I go about finding someone who doesn't want to be found?
Yeah.
And then she's like, you're talking about your father? And she's like, yes. She's like, sits down. She's ready to talk about it. Like, help me find my father.
And something I mentioned to Gabriel about that before we started is I'm kind of surprised that we didn't really see her back.
Yeah, I know. I was kind
In
of
a future
expecting her to
episode.
kind of let her know, hey, look, this is how you find your dad. I was hoping she would be in more episodes because that is a brilliant actress. She is so great.
I would kind of like to see her in season 3 when season 3 happens. That'd be an interesting storyline to have.
Renew Stitchers 3.
Hashtag Renew Stitchers 3.
Yes,
Hashtag
guys.
it all over the place on Twitter and Instagram.
Instagram, anything, Facebook, whatever.
We watch every episode on Freeform app, the Freeform app.
Yeah,
Renew Stitchers 3, guys. This is very important because we need everyone's help. Tell your friends who don't even watch Stitchers. Don't just talk to the fandom. Talk to people outside of the fandom to get them to join the fandom, which is what Ritesh was telling us.
Yeah.
It's important, guys.
Get them into the show because, I mean, if someone asks what the show is about, be like, watch it. Or
Send
be like,
them a link to
I'll
the
show you
Freeform
an
app.
episode.
Send them a link to
the
Freeform's
thing is,
website.
It's so simple. The fandom is tweeting at Stitchers TV.
Yes.
The non-fans, if they start just doing that button click, imagine the numbers. So guys, I keep saying it, the key to getting it renewed is not just relying on the fandom as it is. It's about showing that passion to get other people into it. That's what's really going to get Freeform's attention.
Yep.
The network, it's going to show, hey, they have a slate of shows. Show them that this is the one that needs to come back next year, next season.
And you know what? I feel like now more than ever, this fandom has really gotten together and have really shown their voice. I have no doubt in my mind now. I'm almost 110% sure that it will get renewed for season 3. I have never seen a fandom like this. That they're really
started
pushing for
petitions and made fan videos. Check it out if you haven't.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of Veronica Mars. They pushed to get that one back on the air, and they got a whole movie out of it.
Yep. I have no doubt in my mind. It's going to get renewed. We just need your guys' help. So please do all of that. And also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Comment down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts about what might happen in season 3. And guys, we're so excited to be back next week covering episodes 3 and 4 of season 2 with our special guest, Jasmine Savoy Brown.
Who plays Nina?
It's gonna be so much fun, guys. I cannot wait. She's gonna be so much fun to have in, and I have a feeling that you guys are gonna.
It's gonna be an interrogation.
It's gonna be an interrogation room here at AFTERBUZZ TV.
Well, if she's watching this episode, we don't want to scare. Look, we're
She's
gonna
gonna
be
be like,
nice. We're gonna ask you if you.
Some painless questions.
Yes, we're just here to have fun.
I'm just kidding. We're really not gonna. No, we're just being funny. But
we're gonna be like, who are you gonna kill in season 3? No.
What are you plotting?
What did you see at the very end of the finale whenever you got up in Cameron's room?
Exactly.
Here's the thing. If they actually told us all the answers we wanted, there would be no fun.
That's right. Exactly. Which is why, like I was saying last week, this was not just like a little cliffhanger at the end. Think of how many cliffhangers there are. Like, we made a
every
list.
episode is a cliffhanger.
But we made a list at the very end. The finale has so many cliffhangers that I cannot wait for season 3 because it's going to be crazy.
We need answers.
We need answers. We really do.
But we also want more questions because we want the show to continue.
That's right.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you so much for watching. Really quick, where can we find you guys on social media?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
You can find me on Twitter all the time at Double J on TV.
And you guys can find me at Mr. Dakota T Jones on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Stay tuned because next Wednesday, it's actually going to be not Thursday. We're going to be Wednesday at 8 p.m. for our last Stitchers after show until hopefully season 3. Thanks, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Stitch you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.